Welcome to Biohacking with Brittany. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. I'm your host, Brittany Ford, holistic nutritionist, content creator, podcaster, and all things biohacking and wellness. Today's episode is episode 300, which is remarkable and an accomplishment in itself. I cannot believe I have sat down 300 times at this microphone and recorded episodes. That is wild. I started my podcast in 2019 and I took a break for a while and then brought it back. And for the longest time, I was just doing one episode a week. So that's kind of why the math probably doesn't add up if you were to think about 2 episodes a week. And now, we do episodes every Tuesday and Friday. And I can't believe we've hit 300. I feel like what the data has shown that I have seen and other people have told me is like podcasts really don't take off until they hit about like 500 episodes, unless you had celebrities on your show, essentially. So there's something about the 500 episode mark where I don't know what it is about that gets the traction going, but that's kind of what we've seen in terms of like being able to like reach millions of people. That's what I mean by like take off like that. So we are, obviously more than halfway there. I don't even know if that's really the goal of the podcast, to be honest, but that's just what I have been told. And so we are at 300 today, which is exciting. And I'm proud of all of the people involved, the people I've interviewed, all the work that I've put in. The low-key work that I've put in. We are in the top 1% of podcasts globally. Now, this is a statistic that is estimated based off of popularity. I don't know how true this is. I don't decide this. There's a website that does it. And I think that is definitely an accomplishment. The big podcasts that you might listen to are in the top 0.05%. Like the ones that get millions and millions of downloads every month. So top 1% sounds great, but then you compare it to the top 0.05% and you're like, wow, okay, those are the heavy hitters. So anyway, proud to be where we are and grateful and looking forward to where this podcast is going to take me. Finally, I'm setting up my office and we are optimizing for video. I kind of need to figure out what the background's going to be. I am recording, somewhat live again versus before when I was taking time off for mat leave. So now I'm optimizing for video and optimizing for YouTube, and that is going to be fun and be its own new challenge. I think the podcast will always be around. Yeah, it's a good medium and it allows me to meet really, really cool people who I would not be able to meet otherwise. So I'm super grateful for that. And today's episode is kind of a fun one. I didn't want to do anything super serious for the 300th episode. And I love listening to ones that are about wellness trends and biohacking and things like that. So we are going to talk about the predictions for wellness trends in 2025. We're sitting in October right now. We're in Q4 and I'm curious what is going to come next year. I have my thoughts, and we also have research that kind of shows what people are Googling, what they're researching, what they're looking up for online. So we're going to dive into all of that. Before we get started, shout out to Bioptimizers. So grateful that they are a sponsor and sponsoring this 300th episode. I have a wellness stack that I do with them, the mushroom breakthrough powder, the magnesium, digestive enzymes, and probiotics. I literally take all 4 of those every single day, and they are my go-to. The mushroom breakthrough powder is the best. It is my afternoon pick-me-up. Doesn't have any stimulants in it, and it's great for memory recall, which is something I suffer from as a new mom. My mom brain, my baby brain is real thing. Holy smokes. And so when I take something like functional mushrooms like this, it really actually does support my brain health and my brain operations and functioning. So it's got chaga in it, cordyceps, and I have a glass a day of milk around 2 to 3 p.m. and feel a lot better. So thank you, Bioptimizers, for that. you can use my discount code BiohackingBrittany, which will save you the most amount possible. And I also take their magnesium every night. I take their probiotic and digestive enzymes whenever I eat food that is like, questionable, which is not very often, but sometimes I do. And I give it to my husband as well. This morning he had a bagel with cream cheese. So, I gave him 6 digestive enzymes. That's all I can do. Yeah. So that's where we're at. And let's dive into this episode. Thanks again for listening. Please subscribe and follow and do all the things that help this show get noticed. Okay, so today we are diving into the exciting predictions for wellness trends in 2025. I'm going to draw from the latest insights from McKinsey's Future of Wellness survey that they did, also other research studies, and what we're kind of seeing people are looking up for online. Obviously, I'm going to have my 2 cents thrown in here as well, but we will be adding research to it. It's clear that wellness is evolving rapidly, driven by innovative research, cultural shifts, and increasing focus on holistic health, which I am here for. I am like thrilled that this is like the move that, society is taking. So the first, and in that note, the first predicted wellness trend that I have for 2025 is a integrative health approach. Obviously, we've kind of seen this already starting to happen. I wouldn't say it's mainstream yet, but I think it is getting there. So I think there's going to be a further integration of conventional and alternative medicine. Holistic health practices such as acupuncture, herbal medicine, and functional medicine will become more mainstream. Especially functional medicine, this is something that I'm thinking about actually going to study, like I'm studying it in my fertility course, but I'm actually thinking about potentially studying with the IFM and becoming a functional medicine practitioner. We'll see. But this is slowly becoming more mainstream. So according to the World Health Organization, over 80% of the world's population utilizes some form of complementary or alternative medicine, indicating a significant acceptance of these methods. McKinsey's research found that 58% of consumers are prioritizing wellness more than they did a year ago, suggesting a growing acceptance and demand for integrative health solutions. Studies have shown that integrative approaches can lead to better patient outcomes, particularly in managing chronic conditions by addressing the root causes rather than just the symptoms. So I definitely think that we see this. I would love to see this more. And I think we're slowly growing towards more of this integrative approach of having multiple practitioners in our care team for a certain health condition. So I took this approach with like my fertility, with my pregnancy, now postpartum, and I probably will take this approach for anything, any health concern that I have come up. I think there is a lot to be said about this because not a lot of people even have a family doctor, a medical doctor, but we're also just finding that medical doctors are not necessarily as helpful with these chronic conditions or issues as they might be with acute problems, right? So you break your arm, obviously going to the hospital, getting surgery, getting it fixed is super helpful. But when we think of things like, autoimmune diseases or other conditions that are long-term, it's these other holistic health practices that can actually really make a difference in conjunction with different types of therapies. So I think it's really cool to see this happening. I encourage this and I want to see this more. I want to see people have a care team. And I think the challenge with this is making it affordable and accessible to everybody. So depending where you live, you might not have access to herbal medicine or an acupuncturist, or it might be out of your budget. So I think something that I don't see yet, but will probably come in the next few years, is some sort of solution that makes this more affordable, whether it's some sort of private healthcare plan that includes, X amount of consultations every single month with these different types of people or something like that. Like, I just think, how do you bring this to the masses in order for people to be healthier? It's tough. That's a very, very tough problem to solve. But again, I do think this integrative approach is, increasing, and we will see it more in 2025. Okay. The second one is biohacking and longevity. Now, To be fair, biohacking and longevity are two separate things. However, they do get lumped together very frequently. So the quest for longevity and enhanced human performance will drive the biohacking trend. Innovations in wearable technology, nootropics, and advanced supplements will empower individuals to optimize their health and lifespans. McKinsey reports that over 60% of consumers surveyed considered it very or extremely important to purchase products or services that support healthy aging. The global anti-aging market is projected to reach $421 billion by 2027, with significant investment in research focused on genetics, telomere shortening, and regenerative medicine. Oof, that's wild. Scientific studies suggest that lifestyle factors such as diet, exercise, and stress management can have a profound impact on longevity, with research showing that adopting a healthy lifestyle can increase life expectancy by up to 10 years. Do you have trouble recalling names, dates, or where you left things? I definitely do as a new mom. I kid you not, I am forgetting things all of the time. I feel like I'm juggling so much in my brain, and it's really hard to keep clear-minded when you are taking care of a newborn. If you're struggling and you're finding it difficult to focus during the day, or you notice yourself zoning out when people are talking to you, your cognitive health and your brain could really use some love. Bioptimizers has created a one-of-a-kind product called Mushroom Breakthrough that can supercharge your brain power. It's packed with highly concentrated mushroom extracts that science shows enhance memory, focus, processing speed, and more. Just one serving contains 5 potent superfoods, collagen, and 1.2 pounds of 4 concentrated mushrooms: lion's mane, reishi, cordyceps, and chaga. This cutting-edge blend is a powerful way to rebuild your brain and rewire it for maximum energy, focus, and performance in less than 30 days. After each serving of Mushroom Breakthrough, your ability to memorize and recall information will improve. This is actually I notice such a difference with this. I'm serious. Every time I take this, I notice a difference. And you'll get a heavy dose of antioxidants for immune support. The way that I do this is I drink it daily. I add 2 scoops to a large glass of nut milk, and I drink this in the afternoon. It's my afternoon pick-me-up that is not a stimulant. And as a new mom, as a parent, I literally rely on this. This is like my mommy's milk, mommy's mushroom milk that I rely on to get through my day and really help my brain perform much better, kind of like how it used to before having a baby. So don't miss out on the brain boosting power of this amazing product. For an exclusive offer, you can go to bioptimizers.com/biohackingbritney and use code biohackingbritney at checkout. This will get you the most amount off. So if you even compared to like Amazon or anywhere else that you see these products, my discount code will get you the most off. So make sure you use it. Again, that's biohackingbritney and use the code at checkout. And the great thing about Bioptimizers is that you can try it risk-free with their 365-day money-back guarantee. Try it now to sharpen your edge and reach your full potential. Okay, let's break some of this down. So first of all, the projected to reach 421 billion by 2027 is wild. If you have a business idea that is focused on anti-aging or longevity, launch it ASAP, because this market is massive, absolutely massive. And I have definitely seen this longevity trend in the last year. I forget who I was talking to about this, but I feel like so many of the big names in the health and wellness space have put out books about longevity recently, about aging, and they put their 2 cents on it and they spin it in a different way, which is cool and great. And we're all learning from each other. We are also seeing a lot of longevity and anti-aging spas pop up around the world, which I just talked about, like biohacking spas and clinics. And so, we're not only reading the books, but we're also going and spending our vacations and spending time doing these different, biohacking modalities and therapies in order to enhance our longevity and our performance, human performance. So this trend, I think, is only going to increase in the next few years as we talk more and more about increasing our lifespan or increasing our health span, not just our lifespan, and that whole narrative around that. Obviously, we are learning more and more that, lifestyle factors really do increase this and make such a big difference. I don't think that this is mainstream yet in terms of talking about that, but I think we will get there in the future. Okay, the third one, which I think is really interesting, that came up in the research, and I was interested in it and I was surprised by it, but it's this idea of digital detox retreats. So as our lives become increasingly digital, the need for unplugging will grow and is growing. Digital detox retreats where individuals can disconnect from technology and reconnect with nature will gain popularity. A survey indicated that 65% of consumers are interested in retreats that focus on mental wellness and reducing screen time. Research from the University of Pennsylvania found that limiting social media use can lead to significant improvements in well-being and reductions in depression and loneliness. These retreats will offer a blend of mindfulness practices, outdoor activities, and wellness workshops, allowing participants to rejuvenate their minds and bodies in a technology-free environment. This is so interesting. So as somebody who has a business that is online and based solely online on social media, with my podcast, I find this idea very, very exciting. And I have been thinking about putting together some sort of women's biohacking retreat, in a place like Costa Rica, what that could look like. And now I think maybe it should be a digital detox, right? Like maybe it should be screen free, a place where women can go. Maybe it's for postpartum, although I don't know how you would do that with your baby. So maybe that doesn't work, but maybe it's a place where women go to, escape and sign off and have a disconnection from technology and nature. And it's focused on mental well-being and the spiritual aspect of it and, all of those types of things. I think that's a beautiful idea. And I have never done a digital detox retreat, like an official one. Like I have done ones where I go camping for the weekend and I don't have service. So my phone doesn't work. So I'm offline. Sure. Or, you're traveling and, you turn things off. Like I voluntarily have turned things off, but I've never done, more than a couple of days, let's say. But this is a very exciting idea. And I wonder how I would feel after a week of being offline. I think it's a good idea. So I would love to see more of this come about. If you have any ideas or thoughts about that, or you've done one, let me know, because maybe that's something that I should sign up for and do, because I think actually it'd be quite beautiful. Okay. The next wellness trend that I think is coming for 2025, or it will increase, is the gut health revolution. Now, gut health has been, on the rise for the last 10 years. This is not something new. More and more people are talking about this. More and more people are understanding how pivotal the gut is to all of the other health conditions and issues that we're facing. It will continue to be a focal point, with new research uncovering its connection to mental health, immunity, and chronic diseases, talking about the gut-brain connection. The global probiotic market is expected to reach $70 billion by 2025, driven by increasing awareness of gut health. A landmark study published in Nature revealed that gut microbiota composition can influence brain function and behavior, highlighting the importance of maintaining a healthy gut. Expect a surge in gut health supplements and personalized gut microbiome testing, along with an increased focus on probiotics, prebiotics, and fermented food. Research has shown that a diverse gut microbiome is linked to better mental health, suggesting that what we eat can significantly impact our emotional well-being. So I absolutely agree with this. I take a probiotic every day. I take the one by Bioptimizers. and my husband takes that one as well. You can definitely check that one out. I think it's great. I actually give probiotics to my son, Callahan, as well, especially because he was a C-section baby. So it is important for him to be able to get as much healthy, bacteria as possible. I agree with this. I think for me personally, I think gut health is something that I understand pretty well. And it's not as exciting and new to me, but I think it is becoming more mainstream beyond the like wellness girlies, beyond the biohackers type of, people. Okay. The next one that I want to talk about is AI and wellness. I think this is so interesting. I actually have a podcast episode coming out about this next week, all about how AI is going to change our wellness through basically assessing our data and making clinical research, making, conclusions faster than what we have been doing in the past. So artificial intelligence will play a more significant role in personal wellness, from AI-driven health coaches to personalized fitness plans and mental health support. Technology will enable more customized and efficient wellness solutions. A recent study found that 80% of consumers are open to using AI to manage their health, indicating a growing trust in technology for personal wellness. AI can analyze vast amounts of health data to provide tailored recommendations, improving health outcomes. For instance, AI algorithms can help identify patterns in users' health metrics, enabling proactive adjustments to lifestyle and wellness routines. Like I said, I have a whole episode coming out about this next week. I completely agree with this. I think, the issue that I see is like, how do we, unless it's a wearable or you're inputting data into an app, it's tough to kind of make conclusions from the data. Like you really have to be putting in enough data in order to make accurate conclusions. So that's something that I think will need to be focused on. But 100%, I think AI is going to be integrated in more ways than we are currently seeing. Next, we have the women's health focus. We have really, really seen a surgence in this in the last 5 years. Finally, women actually were not included in research until 1993, which is wild, which is actually not that long ago. So women's health will receive increased attention, particularly in reproductive health, hormonal balance, and conditions affecting women such as perimenopause. McKinsey reports that women's health spending has surged, with consumers noting a 50% increase in spending on menopause and pregnancy-related products in the past year. Research indicates that women often experience a lack of appropriate healthcare tailored to their needs, making this a ripe area for innovation. In fact, studies show that women who receive targeted health interventions experience significantly better health outcomes, underscoring the importance of addressing women's unique health needs. This is awesome. I think this is so cool. And I definitely do see this happening. Like I said, I think women are now, in research more and more. Women also spend a ton on wellness and self-care. But I think what I'm seeing is a movement from self-care to more science-backed health products, services, and decisions that women are making. So less about, let's take a hot bath at the end of the day with salt and herbs and candles, and more about my wearable is tracking my menstrual cycle, which means that my period is coming this day, which means that I should plan my work presentation on, during my ovulation phase, which is between these days. I think we're moving towards a more, research-backed space that's, just more about the science and health and less about just basic self-care. And I really, really love that. And I think it's really exciting. I also think it's interesting that, we're focusing on areas like menopause and pregnancy. Makes sense. These are massive, times in a woman's life. And a lot of women are struggling in this space with fertility and pregnancy and postpartum and perimenopause and menopause. those two areas seem to be some just areas that need a lot of attention, and women are just struggling with the symptoms that go along with that. So I'm excited to see that, there's more research going into those spaces. There's more products and services being talked to about that. If you're feeling out of sync with your hormones or struggling with fertility, I totally get it. I've been there and it can be so frustrating, but I found a delicious way to support your reproductive health. I have developed hormone balancing, fertility boosting chocolate. This isn't just any type of chocolate. It's packed with adaptogens like maca root and antioxidants from cacao and pomegranate. These ingredients can help regulate your hormones and support your preconception health and fertility. You need to download this recipe ASAP, okay? Because it's more than just a treat. It's a powerful way to nourish your body from the inside out. Imagine indulging in a rich, delicious chocolate that not only satisfies your sweet tooth, but also boosts your wellness. Whether you're trying to conceive, balance your hormones, or just crave a healthy indulgence that you get to make from home, where you get to control all of the ingredients and also optimize your health, this recipe is perfect for you. Don't miss out on this tasty, fertility enhancing, optimizing health solution. You can go to biohackingbrittany.com/pages/fertility-chocolate and download the recipe for free right now. Go for it. It's just right there waiting for you. It's linked in my show notes. It's linked on my website. You're going to find it super, super easy. So treat yourself to better health, one delicious bite at a time. The next one that I want to talk about is effective weight management solutions. So, AKA Ozempic. Effective weight management will continue to be a priority. In 2025, expect to see more personalized and sustainable weight loss programs that incorporate nutrition, exercise, and behavioral changes, supported by advanced technologies and data analytics. The global weight management market is projected to grow from $192 billion in 2021 to $302 billion by 2028. Recent studies suggest that personalized weight loss interventions can lead to more significant and sustained weight loss compared to traditional one-size-fits-all approaches. This very much goes with the whole GLP-1 molecule and what we're seeing in terms of Ozempic and peptides. Ozempic is a peptide, and how this is impacting, this surge in effective weight management solutions. My 2 cents on this is that, what do I think? I think that Ozempic has its time and place. I think that, it was originally created for diabetics, and then they saw the effects on weight loss, and now it's become so mainstream. I see advertisements for Ozempic everywhere. And while I think it can be helpful, I think there are negative side effects that kind of go along with it as well. And a lot of people treat it like a quick fix. And I don't necessarily believe in quick fixes because I don't think it's sustainable. And I think there's negative side effects. I should honestly do a whole episode on GLP-1. There are other molecules that I forget the name of it. Let me pull it up. The reason I forget the name is because pendulum. That's what it is. So GLP-1 is basically a hormone, and it's called glucagon-like peptide 1. So it's a peptide, is a powerful gut hormone with weight loss benefits. And so there's a supplement that basically increases this. It's called Pendulum. I haven't tried it. I don't think it's available in Canada, which is why I haven't tried it and haven't been focusing on it. But I do think it would be helpful for me to actually look into that and potentially do a whole episode on it, because a lot of people are looking into things like that are healthier alternatives to Ozempic. There are also other ways to increase your GLP-1 levels, which I could talk about as well. Food, lifestyle decisions, things like that. So maybe that should be its own episode. Anyway, back to effective weight management solutions. I think it makes sense that this is an increasing trend with, most people, unfortunately, in North America being overweight now. That is the norm, which is wild to think about. I don't know if you've ever been on social media and you've seen those photos of like people on the beach in the 80s or, before then, or 90s maybe, or 80s before, like 70s, whatever. And every single person is like fit. Every single person. There's like no one overweight, and it's wild to see that. And so then, there's all these questions of like, okay, what has changed since then? Now we look around and everybody is overweight. So I think effective weight management solutions obviously make sense, right? Like that obviously makes sense that we are focusing on that. And we have things that are coming out like Ozempic that everyone is getting hooked on. And yeah, I would like to see more holistic, personalized weight management solutions come through. And I think they are. And I think more and more people are creating programs about and focusing on that, which I think is awesome. The last one that I want to talk about is the, open discussion on sexual health. I think this is something that I saw starting probably last year when I was at the Biohacking conference. It was the 9th one. So it was in 2020. Wow, was that 2022? It might have been. And anyway, no, I think it was 2023. It was 2023. Yeah. So there was quite a discussion on sexual health at that conference. And I was kind of surprised by that. But I think conversations around sexual health and wellness will become more open and destigmatized. A report found that 87% of US consumers have spent the same or more on social health products recently, indicating a growing acceptance and demand for sexual wellness products and education. Studies show that addressing sexual health openly can help and lead to better health outcomes, including increased sexual satisfaction and overall well-being. As more people seek information and resources, we can expect a greater variety of products and services to support sexual health. I definitely see this. I have had a lot of people pitch to come on this show who are sexual health experts. Men, women, working in all different areas within sexual health. And that has been kind of interesting to kind of see that increase this year. I think this is a good thing. I think we should destigmatize it. I think we should be talking more about having a healthy sex life and what that looks like for different people. What does that look like for the new mom? Or what does that look like for, men in their 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever it is, right? Like, I think we should be talking more about that. What type of data can we track around this in order to understand how healthy our sexual life is? Products, services, same thing. So I am here for this. I think this is something that we should be talking more about, should become less taboo, and there should be less shame around it, less a lot of like tough emotions, especially anyone who's been through trauma in this space. I want to talk more about that. I want that to come to light. And I think it should become more of an open discussion. And I think that's important. So I do see us moving towards more of a conversation about this and being less conservative about it. Again, I think that is a good thing, as long as it's appropriate, within the right container, I think is really important. So these are kind of the trends that I think are my predicted trends in the wellness and health and biohacking space for 2025. I'm curious to see if I look back a year from now, if I was accurate in some of these. Some are very specific, like the digital detox retreats. Some are more general, like an increase in integrative health approaches. But regardless, I do think that these are increasing. I'm curious what you think. What do you think will become more popular? Regardless, as we look ahead to 2025, it's evident that wellness is becoming more integrated, personalized, and focused on holistic needs of the individuals, especially moms, especially specific individuals, right? Like there's a lot of wellness programs now for like CEOs and high performing people at work or athletes or new moms or whatever it might be. And I think that's awesome that we're really catering to these specific personas. I think these trends reflect a deeper understanding of health and well-being, and it really encourage us to take control of our wellness journey, again, which I love as well. So thank you for joining me today on Biohacking with Brittany. If you found this episode insightful and helpful, please subscribe and share it with other people who you think might benefit. leave a review, 5 stars, a rating, whatever you do. And I will catch you next week for another episode. I put out episodes every Tuesday and Friday, and you can catch me on social media at Biohacking Brittany on Instagram and at Biohacking on TikTok. You can also reach out to me by email, info@biohackingbrittany. If you have info@biohackingbrittany.com. Sorry. If you have any questions or thoughts, or, you want me to organize this women's biohacking retreat, let me know. I'm curious what you think and where we should go and what that could potentially look like. So I will catch you next week for another episode. Thanks for listening to another episode of Biohacking with Brittany. If you're interested in finding the show notes or the sponsors for this episode, you can do so on my website, which is biohackingbrittany.com. Remember to follow me on Instagram, where I'm most active. My handle is @biohackingbrittany. And if you're interested in working together and you want to email me directly, you can do that. My email is info@biohackingbrittany.com. And I look forward to hearing from you and having you tune in next week.